Hi guys, welcome back to the Heel. You're a prick. Hi guys, welcome back to the Heel Pod. Hi guys, welcome back to the Heel Podcast. We are back with a podcast after 2.5 months. Has it been? It's been quite a while.
God knows.
What did we do? Survivor Series was the last one, wasn't it?
I think it was the last real pay-per-view, then, wasn't it? So.
Yeah, what did we have? What we've had another one.
It was a big gap over Christmas, wasn't there?
Have we had another one since then?
No.
Wow. But we had Royal Rumble last night, this morning, and it was quite fun. I quite enjoyed it.
I liked it.
I fucking loved it.
So we'll do our standard thing of doing a little rundown through the card as the night progressed. But we had another hour show, boys, with no match on the pre-show, and I just don't get this logic. It's really starting to wind me up. I know that they're just clearly just not going to bother anymore.
It's just advertising it now.
But why? Why?
I mean, to be honest with you, like at this point, we could stop doing the pre-show. But I think I think the hour for us, just because we normally just spend it sat talking and going through everything anyway.
Talking about some rather offensive stuff on our Twitch. Come find us.
Usually,
links in the description. The link tree will be down there somewhere. Find that. Find our TikTok too. We are very, very, very close to 10k followers on TikTok.
So close.
Wait, I've got a tree?
You have a link tree. You do. And it has all your links on it.
I did not grow on a tree.
It's very... If money didn't grow on tree, link didn't. That's what he says.
Yeah, like I wouldn't fit on a tree, mate.
But... I have no comment for that. No comment, pass. First match of the night. The men's Royal Rumble. For the first time in history, I'm going to say.
I thought I was going to be gutted.
What, starting the
men's
show?
kicking it off.
No, it's not the first time.
No?
I'm pretty sure that they did it the first time that the Women's Rumble was a thing. The men's started and the Women's Rumble closed.
Oh, maybe you might be right, actually. Yeah, that might
I
that
thought
true.
This might really... But I was shocked when I see it, but you know what? I loved it, having this match first.
For me, just the fact that we started off with... I think, on reflection, looking at these final... all 30, the two that they had to start were perfect. Like, they nailed... Realistically, they nailed this entire... the entire lineup. The entire lineup, the entire match. Some amazing spots.
I was going to say there's no bad bits in this entire Rumble. I mean, there was. Of course there was. It's a Rumble. There's 30 people. It's very difficult to have it completely perfect, but it was all booked perfectly. Yeah. Nothing was booked badly in this Rumble.
There's two things I've got.
There's one thing I've got that was booked badly, which is we had a 29-man Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Okay, that's the one.
Was a bit odd that Ray came out at 17 and never even appeared. Didn't even appear backstage. That he is on a beaten down by Dom.
I had thought about this.
There was no actual thing apart from Dominic coming out with Ray's mask.
This is something I should have picked up on. There was supposed to be a meet and greet with Ray during the day,
right?
And Ray didn't attend. At the last minute, it was Damian Priest and Dom instead, and there was people kicking up about it because they'd been queuing for hours to meet Ray.
Maybe.
But yeah, right at the last minute, Dom and Damian Priest was putting his head, so maybe there's something happened there.
That's a shame for me because before the match started, we had Pat McAfee coming out.
Oh my God, what a start.
What a start. But,
what a start.
Instead of having the Ray thing, and you could have just said, look, Ray's ill. Well, they could have made up a storyline that Dominic beat him up at his house
before the pay-per-view. So,
as he's as he's now a con, and
he's a condom.
He's a condom apparently. Yeah, they could have had Pat enter at 17, and that would have been pretty sweet too. Enter from the commentary team.
This is my bugbear. You had very little surprises, and the surprise that we did have, why not give it to someone else? That someone else in the roster. You don't need the surprise.
You just reminded me of one bit that I think was booked quite badly, actually.
Yeah, that was booked badly.
Look, I don't. The thing is, the surprises are just there for a bit of a pop. They're not. They're not supposed to be this big thing. I know we were all. I think we overhyped it for ourselves by going, there'll be The Rock, there'll be, Jay White, there'll be all these.
I told
these
people to
big
stop getting excited about Rock.
Aren't around. Like we did that to ourselves. Like honest to
I
God,
didn't think we were going to get The Rock. I said from day one, I didn't think we would.
No, but there's several other people as well.
Yeah.
It's not
too many.
The thing was,
honestly, that match was really good.
You've got someone there. You've got someone there in Wade Barrett that's been cleared, could go in there for 10 minutes.
Has he been cleared?
I'm sure he got cleared to go back in. And that was why I would have had him in instead of Booker.
I mean, so was Corey Graves. Corey Graves was cleared 2 years ago.
I would have had one of them just do an appearance for 5 minutes, do a little spot like he did. And I think it would have got a better pop and got appreciated more.
Booker was the only bad thing throughout out of all 30.
No. I don't like Booker. We all know this.
The only other one is
not quite as much as Dan doesn't like Booker.
The only other thing I would have said was, why did they tell us Cody was coming back?
Yeah, it's a bit of a waste.
The fact that we're gonna have Cody come back and win, and it's like, but
it was the pop.
My logic was that he was gonna come back and get eliminated by somebody reasonable, a Gunther type person.
That would have made sense.
Or not even necessarily. It could have been Rollins, of course, and that could have carried on their feud, and then it would have got it done and out the way. And it made sense Cody coming in at number 1 at that point or something, or even just early. No, that's the bit I didn't like, taking away that surprise.
Because all day, I would have had him come in last and surprise and win it. Perfect. Would have been amazing.
Tell you what was a fun fact from this match, though, in the end. The fact that the number 27 slot is no longer the most winning number in the Rumble, and number 30 has finally surpassed it.
Is it surpassed it or not joined it?
Yes.
Surpassed it.
Okay.
Surpassed it. So the first time since 1993, number 27 is no longer the highest winning number in the Rumble. I don't like it, if I'm honest. I think the fact that Cody came out at 30 telegraphed it way too much. I think the fact that Cody was... do you know what? I don't want to complain about number booking because I really, really, really enjoy Rumble by the numbers. I've always really enjoyed Rumble by the numbers. It's one of my favourite things during Rumble is Rumble by the numbers, going through all the history, going through who's done what, who's got these records and all the rest of it. I really always loved that. By the way, Gunther also breaking a record last night for the longest... traditional Rumble, not counting the
hour and 11 minutes and 40 seconds.
1 hour 11 minutes, and I thought it was 25 seconds.
40
but
seconds
it was a long old stint.
Yeah.
And God, did he deserve it as well? I remember the second that who was it that went out second to last?
Second to last.
Seth, wasn't it?
Was it?
Seth?
Yeah, they were a final three.
It wasn't Seth. It was Seth.
Was Logan? Logan eliminated Seth.
He did. Logan come back in.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it was just 3 of them. Then Logan.
Yeah, I got it here.
Yeah. So once Logan was eliminated, and I said this up during the stream as well, I was like, I just hope that they give these two a long period now where there's just the 2 of them in. Because they're probably never going to have a feud because their styles just aren't going to clash that well.
Yeah.
And they did. They gave them a good 5 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, with just the 2 of them in the ring. Bear in mind at this point, Gunther's just gone through the distance from number 1 to number 30, and Cody's only just come out. And Gunther still managed to put him through his paces. It was brilliant. It was really, really good. Gunther looked absolutely fantastic in the entire match. They made him look very, very strong, which is great.
But the good thing was they didn't make him look overpowered because he still took a beating in that match as well.
Oh yeah.
He still took that beating.
I mean, if you're in it for an hour, I mean, it'd be wrong if you didn't take some sort of beating. Let's be honest.
But he got it quite hard with some of them. Him and Braun, and he was getting picked up. He was getting slammed still. He was getting thrown about. So fair play.
What do we?
Go on, sorry.
What do we make of the Brock situation? Because obviously the Brock coming in, and it only lasted 2.5 minutes.
That was a massive pop. That was a bigger pop than a surprise entry for me. Him getting eliminated
and then destroying everything in his path.
Yeah,
and then including Baron Corbin, who then lasted 7 seconds because of it.
But I think they've made him look even stronger and more menacing, and they've just thrown that back into Brock and be an absolute beast. For him being eliminated.
I mean, it made sense. It was Bobby Lashley. It wouldn't have made sense if it had been somebody like Dominic, for example.
No.
So
great storytelling again.
I quite enjoyed that whole bit, and I love Brock. So I'm glad that he was in for at all, but I don't think it was in for too short a time. It progressed the story, which was what was needed.
Do we think Brock's going to be in trouble now, though, for a bit? Do you think he's going to have to take a couple of weeks out? He put his hands on the ref, didn't he?
He did, and yes, it's a possibility. But to be honest with you, if they don't, and I'm not.
I don't think they will. I think they've just done it just to show him to be uncontrollable again, and he'll go back, and then there'll be a big thing now with Bobby, because it was becoming a bit. Again, are we going to see this again? But this has kind of hyped it back up again for me. I
mean, it's definitely possible, and that's the reason that we don't get the match at the Rumble, at the Chamber, and we end up dragging it out to Mania.
Because that's only like 20 days away.
Yeah.
21 days, 20 days now.
Yeah, basically 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah. What else?
Yeah, it's definitely possible, and that's how they drag it to Mania. But, yeah, fantastic. Fantastic match throughout. Gunther with the spot right near the end. Where was it Strowman he lifted up?
Yep.
And it was just like, that guy's already been in this match over an hour, and he's just muscled Braun Strowman up slowly as well. He didn't like. There was no Strowman jumped to assist him. No, it was a slow wrench.
Yeah,
up.
No, like he's
like that was just pure muscle, and what unbelievable show of strength that was.
Daddy Gunther picked him up. Like picking up a child.
Do you know what? We haven't said about it yet, but my favourite spot, Logan's spot. Logan and Ricochet.
I can't get over how they I expected it from Ricochet, and Logan never fails to surprise me.
Yeah. But for them two, that would have been the perfect
that was
one spot.
Ridiculous distance and height they both got to then collide. Weird. So good.
It was so weird, though. Let's be honest. Like, it made no sense whatsoever. Like, let's just jump into each other.
What was it that Romano used to shout? Was it
Mamma Mia?
No, with Dean Ambrose. It was something at the junction. What was it? When he used to do that, and they used to smack
malfunction at
the junction, and he used to scream it all the time. That's what it was, but it was in the air.
Do you know what? Even when everyone, because I've watched the TikTok back, and you see everyone clear, so there's no one around. Everyone's around by the ropes, and even when they're standing there shouting at each other, I didn't even think, hold on a minute, they're going to do this. It was like, what are they going to do? And that surely not.
We all thought it was.
I thought they were going to jump into someone else each.
Yeah,
or something like that. Or even the buckshots. Yeah, or the bull shot, as I kept calling it last night.
Yeah,
it's, not Adam Page.
No, but. Yeah,
but surely not that. And when it happened, it was our expressions were just as good as the actual move.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was good. Plus, it got nice views on TikTok. Thank you, Logan.
Again.
Then we had the weirdest thing of the night. It was. I didn't know what to make of it to start off with. I was like, I'm not interested in a Mountain Dew pitch black match.
I was excited for this from the start. I didn't care about the fact that it was branded.
No, I was excited by Bray versus LA Knight. I agree. I wasn't bothered by the fact. I was a bit concerned about what the bloody hell a Mountain Dew pitch black match was, and I just knew that it was going to be a bit crap, but it wasn't. It was all right.
Oh, that was great.
The match itself was way too short.
Yeah.
Way too short. It was very like, we did it during the stream, mate. It's on the TikTok. Like we all just like,
I think it was more about what happened after.
That's the ending.
It was a very abrupt ending.
Yeah.
But I don't think the match was too short. I think it served a story purpose. It wasn't there for anything more than that. And I think people have forgotten what Bray's about, because Bray isn't about wrestling.
He's about the story.
Bray is about the story. And that match was perfect for that.
And I've got to admit, the visual effect was absolutely amazing.
No,
the second Bray came out of that corner and upside down with all the new, like the Oh
or the
my God.
UV.
It was the second that the lights went off and LA Knight was just stood there, bright yellow. Like, what? Okay, what's this?
Yeah, it was very, very good. Very, 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 very good.
And the confetti and the popcorn.
Probably the line of the night for me. Corey Graves. I'm so glad I cleaned my pants before this match.
But do you know what? Even as the match finished, some mental spots. I love the way it was all lit up because that could help visually so much with what was going on.
I think it'll be the last time we ever see a match like that.
Yeah,
to be
definitely.
honest. But it was very cool as a one-off.
I don't know, you know.
But the story, story carried on.
I would like to talk to you about it though, because I didn't realise just how much of a general consensus is going on right now, and it seems to be growing that people are getting bored of Bray. And I didn't realise it until I went over, not even on our TikTok, but just over all the other social medias and looking at things. People have got really bored of Bray and saying that the last 2 weeks his stuff's actually been a bit crap, and LA Knight started to carry this storyline, and well, not even crap, it's just that he's got a bit boring, and to some extent they're kind of right. LA Knight has carried this, and it's just
been a big debate on our TikTok.
We do need, I don't know, it does need a bit of a, it didn't feel like it was complete fire from the start. Like it was an absolute gold mine of storyline building, telling, whichever way you want to look at it. So I did agree with it to some extent that there wasn't this spark that we've had for the first couple of months when Bray came back. And it has sort of fizzled out for the last 2 weeks, and LA Knight's been the shining light. But I wanted to ask, do you think that's more that it has been a bit slow from Bray, or do you think LA Knight has just done what LA Knight does and it takes over the spotlight?
I'll be honest. I think there may be slight bits of both of that, and I get the logic. Yes,
it has been. I think
I mentioned it. I think I mentioned it last week. To be fair, that Bray's starting to become a little bit.
Yeah, you said it.
It's a little bit slow.
Yeah.
It's a little bit slow.
But I had to ask because I just thought it was very odd. I just didn't even think about it. That obviously our community was all in for it, and then just.
Do you know? I really
have a look outside the curtains sometimes.
I really like it, but one thing I do like about what Bray does, he doesn't rush the storylines, and I think with WWE we're so used to storylines being rushed through. Mm-hmm. We're now seeing it slowed back down again, and I kind of like that because it tells it properly.
I 100% agree with that statement. 100% agree with that statement.
So,
and sometimes as well, fans just don't want things to wait. They don't want to wait, and
I think
they
they're
get
so
very
excited. And
very
they want
upset
it now
when
because
it's
going to be good.
done instantly. You know,
but
and
my argument as well. He has been back for quite a while now, and
he has, and this is his first match,
and has been a bit.
Yeah.
I definitely agree that some things have felt like
September.
Yeah, and some things have felt like he's done like a segment on one show, and we've watched nigh on the exact same segment the following week, and that is a big gripe I've had with it. Actually, having thought about it this morning, I kind of taking my own sort of step away.
Can I just stop you for a second there, though?
Yeah.
Because I don't disagree with what you're saying. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but what I will say is, if you're enjoying something, don't step back and look at it from somebody else's perspective who's not enjoying it. Just enjoy it for what it is.
But because I'm looking at it from two different perspectives. Obviously me enjoying it is me, Dan, whereas me taking a step back and just having a look at what else is happening around in the world. That's the podcast side of me. Yeah. So that's all I'm saying. I'm still enjoying Bray. Yeah. It's interesting to see other people's take on some of these things.
I don't disagree.
I don't it's being negative about some of the wrestling, but sometimes it helps just to have a look and say okay, it probably could do with a little bit of that fire. Yeah. And then if we do get that, then it's really good to look at in a future podcast if we get that Elimination Chamber, for example, that spark that brings it really up.
I still have high hopes for the Bray stuff. I'll be honest.
I do too.
I've got to admit, since I was thinking about this, and this is the most criticism he's got, even with the dodgy thing stuff towards the end. He got a lot of criticism then, but it's happened a lot more now. But I've looked back, I've been thinking back, knowing remember when he first come back and you had the human puppets? Knowing that we've got them back again last night.
Could be interesting.
We've got the Uncle Howdy stuff that's been really interesting. We've got Bray switching back. We've got Firefly Funhouse. We've got the Alexa Bliss stuff that's been happening bit by bit. It's all starting to fit together. And I think now that we've now seen him in this strange mask towards the end, I think now you're going to start to see it pushed a bit quicker because it's kind of been building to the story. And now we're going to right now we're going, because he did say you're going to have LA Knight. What was it? He's going to meet the man that he's been asking for the whole time.
Right.
And I think it was building to this match, and now he's going to run with it a bit.
Well, I mean, it was the Wyatt Six stuff as well, wasn't it? Because he had the Roman numeral on his thing. I mean, I still can't get over the fact that none of you saw the buzzard.
Yeah.
No, I was looking. I was mid edit, and as you said it, and I looked back, and I was just like, oh. I haven't even looked back on the TikTok. It probably is there.
I can't believe none of you saw it. Like, he literally just walked straight past Mercy. He was stood on the fucking ramp.
Yeah, I think I was more trying to work out what was on his face because I could see something was on there, and it was like we obviously couldn't see it was the UV stuff, but you could see something was there. It was like, what is this? Some kind of strange mask?
It was LA Knight that walked past Mercy, wasn't it?
No, it was Bray.
It was Bray.
Was it Bray?
I'll be honest as well. I didn't realise that he'd got anything on his face.
Yeah, I was trying to work out. I didn't know if it was a strange mask or anything, but when he lights come on, you see it was like the UV.
Yeah, no, it was a very cool effect. So I think that was a nice takeaway. It was something different. So, which never hurts.
Yeah. Even if they did just have random cups of confetti at the fucking announce desk, like
I really can see it going kind of a bit more full force now. Being a big build for Mania because Mania's not too far away.
Not really, not because we've only got Chamber, and then have we got one more before that? I expect we probably have.
Before Chamber? No,
we've got none before Chamber.
No, Chamber's only 3 weeks ago. Why would we have something before Chamber?
Mania.
Don't think so.
In between Chamber and Mania,
or something, but there's nothing.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
There's nothing planned currently.
I think it's going to go quite full force now with this story.
Yeah, no, I did mean Mania. Next up was the we got NXT Vengeance Days. The next thing though, just throwing that out there because I'm just having a check on that.
Oh, that's next weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, they're fresh.
So yeah, we then have Elimination Chamber, bit of stand, and then we got Stand Deliver as well the night before Mania. So yeah, or the afternoon of Mania, I think actually.
Oh god, that Mania weekend is going to be a killer again, isn't it?
It's going to be a beastly one.
So was there nothing between Chamber then?
According to this, still nothing at the minute. So
between Chamber and Mania.
Yeah, so Chamber, and then we are well on the road completely. We then had Bliss versus Bianca. I kind of hoped that this was the end of Bianca's run.
I think we all. Well, I did as well. I don't know about Pete, but.
I'm okay.
I called Bianca.
I'm okay with where we're going with this. That Bliss is coming back into the fold with Bray and Uncle Howdy and all these shenanigans. Because it wasn't bad to start off with the Bliss stuff. It did get a bit. I don't know. The problem is I had with Bliss the first time with Bray. I felt like she was really needed to go into the women's division to compete for the title. Like, it was calling for Alexa Bliss at the time. And I was a bit frustrated that Bliss was stuck with Bray.
She was occupied.
Yeah. But hopefully, we can. I wouldn't mind a little crossover. Because I think she might even go to Uncle Howdy for some help. To maybe come back and beat Bianca.
After the ending last night.
Yeah. Like, she's saying that she's not strong enough or whatever it said. You're weak or whatever it said.
Do you think you're in control or something?
Yeah, that's it.
The thing is, for me, if Bliss does go with Howdy and the whole Bray stuff, I don't want her to win the title because then it means that she's going to end up losing the title, and I think with a story like that, they don't need the titles.
Yeah. Well,
see, I kind of agree with what you're saying, Pete, but my only argument for that is the women's division doesn't get any time unless it's the championship.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I also think that her getting the belt wouldn't be the worst thing in the world because. What else are they going to do? They're going to show us a 3-minute match with Chelsea Green versus Dana Brooke. Like, I just I'm sorry, I just don't care.
We'll talk about Chelsea in a minute.
Yeah.
Got me a point.
But it was a weird one because again I feel like we're starting to book Bianca a bit too strong. Like, and I know we said it last night, she is absolutely fantastic, but her gimmick is naff.
It's not even a gimmick. It's just her. It's just.
I don't know if it is her though. I think it's like her, but it's like she's for the kids.
It's stale is the problem.
Yeah, it's very stale. I need a Bianca switch up. No, I don't know. Do I want it to go heel or do I just want it to just
a bit more aggressive or
a
just
bit
something
more
needs
off
to change?
Heel, face champion. You know, a bit more pissed off.
Yeah.
Currently, still probably currently the right woman for the Raw Women's Championship, but
it's the happy, smiley champion. I'm just a bit like,
like it's okay for about a month or two, and then it's like, okay, now it's time for a switch up or a heel to win it.
I mean, heels always make the best champions.
They do.
I've said this multiple times, and she's a face. It doesn't work.
Well,
especially long term.
Yeah, well, Roman's been one of the best champions in recent history for me, and obviously he's a huge heel at the minute.
He is right now. I'd say Roman's actually changed a couple of times from face to heel.
What, since
face while he's been champion?
Yeah, but
not even like a full turn,
I don't think that's intentional.
I think he skirted the tween line and come back to heel again and skirted and then come back again. But
I think that's because of just the love that the WWE fans have had for him as Tribal Chief.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I don't think he's changed character at all. It's just that he's been like The Rock. He's been cheered instead of being when he should have been booed.
Yeah, because he's just so good.
He has
the thing with
we need that for the women's division.
Yeah, the thing with him
we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it actually. I'll make that point after.
Yeah, we need to we just need it for the women's division. And I feel like the only person that realistically is going to get that for the women's division at the minute is Rhea Ripley. See my segue.
So I can see how that could work.
The next up was she is your mummy, and she has won the Women's Royal Rumble for the first time.
Say mummy.
I said mummy.
You definitely said mummy. I was like, she's not. Okay.
My brain said it. My mouth might not have done.
Mammy.
Mammy. But yes, she has won the Women's Royal Rumble. I'll be honest, I was just looking forward to the Roman match at this point. So there was a lot of this match I didn't particularly watch. But Rhea was brilliant throughout from everything that we saw. Starting at 1, we Liv at number 2 as well. Who Liv and Rhea right at the end.
Yeah.
Do you know, I'll be honest, there's so much that we've missed. And I'm just thinking back now because we started talking about the Women's Rumble and you're like, oh, I looked away for bits of this match. We missed the Claymore fucking big boot to...
Oh, that...
I can't remember who took that and nearly died. I've theory on it. We missed the Kofi Kingston botch spot again.
We've missed so much.
The problem
is you'll be there forever.
So much. But honestly, like, great Rumble for the first one. And I honestly think that the Women's Rumble match last night was just as good. I don't think it was bad.
I don't think it was just as good. I think you do it. You're trying to help the women's division here. I think it was good. I don't think it was just as good. I think the men's was the shinier wizard last night.
Well, yeah, because they've got better competitors within it. But I think that the match itself was booked well. It was delivered well. There wasn't that many botch spots in it.
No.
I think the thing for me...
I can only think really of one major negative point to that whole match.
Was it Tamina?
No.
Oh. What was it?
Nia Jax, that stupid spot where everyone beat her down. She's like,
it's the Braun Strowman. It's the Braun Strowman one, and Braun was doing it for fucking ages.
It didn't make sense. It
doesn't make sense.
You've got guys like you've got people in that fight like Raquel Gonzalez and
Piper Niven, Rhea Ripley, Asuka, all that, and it was just
and they all got thrown off by it. And it's just like, come on now.
Yeah, no, I didn't. No. You're right. Nia Jax and then Tamina were the real like. I don't care still. Don't care about either of these.
I'm really happy they dropped the name Doudrop and just brought back Piper Niven.
Yeah, Doudrop was terrible.
Yeah, I was happy to see Piper back as Piper.
Yeah, I was really happy with that.
Even though Piper was obviously Viper back on the Indies. But...
yeah.
And Asuka's new makeup.
Asuka's new look.
Was really
her
good.
Japanese version of Asuka.
She looked fantastic. Kana.
Yeah.
Kana.
But I think you're going to see a really stiffer wrestling side of Asuka now.
I hope so.
The one thing I did bring from this Rumble, which I hope they sort of run with, is the fact that not all of them, there was a lot of women that sort of projected themselves up a bit higher to some of the top level stars. So the likes of Bayley and Rhea and Asuka, and were able to sort of show that they can compete. And I'm hoping it might be the sort of turning point for the staleness of the women's roster, and hopefully bring it back up, and we end up with a lot more that can compete, and we don't end up with the same 6 or 7 that are around the world title.
Yeah, I'll give
titles.
I think the thing I really liked about the match as well, there's a few little bits happening.
You dare say Street Fighter?
No, but it happened in the men's one as well. At the minute, you've just got a couple of storylines around the titles for the women. In that Rumble, that looks like they've started to start a lot of little storylines away from that, and little feuds here and there. Yeah. And I think that could work. And I noticed it was in the men's as well. They're building. They did.
I mean, the men's they always do that with the men's. Yeah, they try and remember that they have a mid card, which is always nice. But
I think the women's are starting too.
I think they are, but that also worries me because
we don't need a mid card women's title.
There isn't space for women's to have a mid card division. Really.
There isn't time on the shows.
Well, I don't want to watch it. I'll be honest, I don't want to watch it.
There just isn't time on the shows. Let alone, there isn't time for the shows on for the Intercontinental in the US. Why on earth would there be time for a mid-card women's title as well?
I mean, there is. They just need to stop putting so much shit on in the meantime.
Every time we have a brawl match, we've got to have Raquel after. We need to stop doing that.
What was I going to say? For me, again, back to Rumble by the numbers. Number 1 and number 2 went the distance in this match. They number 2 was the last person eliminated from the match for Rhea to win from number 1.
Realistically, that's kind of what we had in the first one. Like Sheamus still did a 52 minutes as well, which is mad.
This is where I was going. Like, I know Sheamus obviously wasn't far off being in the finals as well. Like number 1 and number 2 should not be going the distance in Rumbles. I'm sorry. I know,
should be a spectacle.
Fair place to them, but to do it twice in one night for me was just like.
The thing is, the way I look at it, if you put Gunther, Sheamus, and Rhea in the same bracket, okay. But Liv Morgan,
I'll be honest. Even that, Gunther for me, perfect choice to come in early. They've kind of established him now as an absolute beast. Rhea was on that level anyway. She could have come out high 20s.
Yeah.
And still been realistically everyone's... It didn't really matter. She didn't need that push. But I think Gunther did. And they've kind of made him that top level now.
Yeah, no,
I mean, we didn't find out until afterwards as well that Rhea dislocated her knee very early on in that match. And apparently managed to pop it straight back in and carried on with the match.
Yeah.
I'm hoping she's all right because the fact that she walked out on her own steam, did the whole match.
Yeah, but I mean, adrenaline's a hell of a drug.
You know.
And I'll tell you what, I wonder where I don't know if it was the blood for it was covered in.
Sonya Deville.
But did you see Sonya's eye?
Yeah.
It was Sonya's blood.
Yeah. That was a spot.
Silly sausage. What do we think about the Chelsea Green return? Debut.
I think it was a bit of a waste, to be honest.
Massive
waste.
I mean, 5 seconds though. 5 seconds though. Come on.
I don't mind it, but it was a bit of a waste.
I just don't think they're gonna. They should. It would have been so bad if you had all of Damage Control try and take her out, and then she would have had a bit of a feud with them.
Yeah, just launched out by Rhea Ripley.
Yeah,
I mean, like I say, I don't mind it because
it is the winner of it.
It's got a story as well, you know. And it's debuted to an audience that most of them won't know who she was anyway.
Yeah, true. But that's even worse, though, isn't it? You debut and then you get thrown out instantly. I think that's is that not on your CV forever?
Look, Brock Lesnar lasted 2.5 minutes.
But he is established. But he's Brock Lesnar. So no.
But he's Brock Lesnar. Yeah. But no. But this is my point. People that are very, very good could last a couple of seconds. Yeah. Baron Corbin only lasted 7 seconds.
But that's not the way it's going to get looked at, though. That's not the way it'll get looked at, because this is her debut sort of match for those people, and once you have that title, I don't think you lose it.
That's why, really, like I said, I want to say the Damage Control, just throw all three of them, throw her instantly out, and have her come back in a bit of a feud with Bayley.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I think the last time obviously the last time she debuted, because this isn't her first time around in WWE. She had a match with Charlotte Flair as her first match, and she broke her ankles. So it's
yeah. It was better than her first time.
Yeah.
It's always better than your first time.
I just hope she's not going to. I just hope she's not going to get wasted, because she's definitely a big talent.
Oh, I don't care if she gets drunk. Like it doesn't bother me at all.
Wasted. You're an idiot. I was just thinking of the GTA. Just too
wasted.
Yeah. But yeah, Rhea is going to go on to face more than likely Charlotte.
I don't think she is. I think she's going to be Bianca. I think this is where they go to Mania, and I think they're going to be teasing Bianca going a bit. Rhea's going to go like stupidly rough against Bianca. You're going to start to see a more aggressive Bianca, and I think we're going to come to Mania, and I think Rhea's going to take it there.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie, I thought about it just now after you said that you think it'll be Bianca. You're 100% right, it'll be Bianca. And do you know why?
Because she's on Raw.
No, nothing to do with that. Because we'll end up with Street Profits versus whatever they're called. The other guys.
Judgment Day.
Judgment Day.
But I really think this is where you're going to start to see a more aggressive Bianca come out.
I hope so, because I'm bored of it.
I mean, it'd be good.
I am bored of it now. So.
I honestly, if it does go down to Rhea versus Bianca, I'll still want Rhea to win the belt.
Because this is why I still think we're going to start to get Lacey Evans Charlotte for Mania.
Rhea's going to be busy anyway for the next month, because she's going to have to take on Beth Phoenix, isn't she? Like that's clearly the way that's going.
She'll have to rest her knee first, so that's if she.
That's also possible.
She even gets that with Beth. Yeah, we might not get that, because obviously that was in the men's Rumble, wasn't it? When Edge was heading back, and
I believe the plan at the moment though is for a mixed tag match at Elimination Chamber between Beth and Edge and Rhea and either Dom or Finn. I can't remember which.
Because I think we are going to get Charlotte Flair, Lacey Evans, because we are going to get the special guests in their corners at Mania.
Oh, God. For God's sake, Pete, stop talking about Ric Flair and Sergeant Slaughter.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, you're right. It is going to happen, but shut up.
I'm good with it not happening.
Can they just both die before then, so we don't have to ever have it? Anyway,
speaking
of people dying,
please stop asking for people to die.
Speaking of people dying, so it was a segue all along. We watched the absolute brutalization of Kevin Owens this morning at 5:00, and
oh my God,
it was a sad moment. Kevin Owens might actually be dead.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
He took a lot of kicks.
Unprotected
as well.
Is
that man?
But
how good is that man?
Let's talk about the match first of Kevin versus Roman. So obviously the match was as expected, very brutal, very solid. Yeah, that was the word I was going to use. Roman had Sami by his side, which was on the pre-show, wasn't it? That he said he didn't want the Usos, didn't want Solo. He wanted Sami to come out, and be by his side and do nothing. That was the whole point. He said, "Do nothing, just stand there, be by my side, do nothing." So in the match, we had the spears, we had the pop-up power bombs, we had the ref getting knocked out. We had, I think we have.
He took a little bit too. Sami took a little bit too long to give him the chair. I
can't remember when the barricade was. Was the barricade after that?
That was straight after.
Yeah. He took too long to give him the chair, and there was this delay, and it's like this sort of almost foreshadowing of the whole of what was to follow, and it was brilliant. I thought. Smoochie. I really liked it. Smoochie.
Smoochy.
No, no. Shut up, I'm tired.
Smoochy Pete, yeah?
It's not Smoochy, shut up.
Oh, Smoochy.
Yeah. Paul Heyman calls Sami Zayn Smoochy.
Smoochy.
Schmooly.
It's no Smoochy now, mate.
Smoochy. But yes, it was all very good. And then obviously with the chair, Roman was then screaming at him to pass him the chair. He's like, "You told me to do nothing! I'm telling you to do something! Pass me the goddamn chair!" And I thought that was quite good. The fact that we heard it all as well, perfect.
I do want to jump back right at the beginning because I've just remembered something right at the beginning of this match. How awesome was that crowd just singing Sami's name right at the beginning? The biggest pop of the night.
But not the first time again. It happens in most SmackDowns now.
The match started off for me as well with them giving the introductions, and you'd got Sami sat on one corner.
Oh yes.
And Kevin sat on the other, and it was just the
symmetry. That was a bigger moment than me than Sami's.
And they were staring at each other more than they were looking. They're like, Kevin Owens hadn't even acknowded Roman. He was looking at Sami.
Yeah, they made a point of Roman walking up with both belts, and you could see he was looking straight over it.
When did Kevin have a Sami Zayn Forever shirt?
Walking into the arena
as he arrived at the arena on that night.
Yeah, wicked. But yeah,
storytelling is amazing.
It was very good. We had some horrendous things before the very end with a couple of headshots to the steps, which is just not nice at the back of the head.
Yeah, we got through backwards into the stairs. That was painful.
Fast. Was very he hit him with speed, which was very good. It made it look very brutal.
And the whole time, Sami looking uncomfortable. The whole time. They played that really well.
Yeah.
They did.
And then obviously, at the end, we just had absolute shit kicking by Roman Reigns, and then Sami stopping it. Well, not even by Roman Reigns, by the Bloodline, wasn't it? It was by the Bloodline.
And Usos were doing it.
Yeah, the super kicks, the chaining him to the handcuffing him to the ropes. The chair shot. The chair shot with Solo. They put the chair over Kevin Owens' head, and then Solo runs and sort of reverse asses into the. That's the official move, by the way. Yeah. The reverse ass.
The reverse ass
into Sami Zayn. Like, oh my god, not Kevin Owens.
I think they call it a hip attack.
That's the one, and I was just
we'll go with the ass.
The reverse ass, and it was just very fucking brutal.
Then we get the bit that everyone was screaming for. Will it happen? Please let it happen. Please let it happen.
They foreshadowed it and they teased it a couple of times. Roman had his back to him with the chair in his hand.
Sami stood in the way.
Because I called it a couple of times that it was going to happen.
Yeah,
Sami defended.
Just stood in the way.
And helped.
And it still didn't end the way none of us expected. So Sami hits him with the chair, hits Roman with the chair, turn on him. Sami then gets beaten up by the Bloodline. Jey Uso stood there in the corner though, going just in absolute heartbreak that Sami's done it, and he didn't want him to because he's been defending him these last few weeks. Which again, in itself, let's talk about how good that was. None of us. Sami was supposed to have a beatdown 2 weeks ago by Solo, and Jey Uso is the one that stopped it. We haven't talked about it on a podcast, and he's carried on, and he's had Jay's fully been behind Sami, had his back, and you could see Jey played it really well. He looked heartbroken that Sami had done it.
I think Roman played it well as well. Once it first happened, obviously Sami hit Roman with the chair,
but he didn't get up and
Roman legit looked like he was crying.
The shock, you could see there was they
legit looked like he was crying because he was just like, what the. They played it out so well. All of them really showed emotion in this whole story, and honestly, I loved it. I loved every second of it.
Jay's walked out. Jey walked out. Let's not forget that. Jey walked out on the Bloodline last night.
What's
going to happen at Raw?
How amazing is it that they didn't rush your storyline and they've let it build and build, and every time we think it's over, they let it build and build. I don't want it to end.
And everyone was just going, well, not everyone. There are lots of people saying The Rock, and it's particularly Beyblade because he's a dickhead.
It wasn't needed.
It
I
wasn't
still
needed.
think it's possible. I still think this could be built for it. It's
Yeah,
still possible.
Yes.
But last night it wasn't needed.
It wasn't needed. And the more and more I thought about it, what the fuck would The Rock come out to save Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens?
No, it wouldn't.
There would have been no sense in it, so I'm glad they didn't.
No, the only way that they could have justified The Rock coming out is if they'd have turned on Jay and started attacking Jay.
But the second Jay walked out, like, okay, I'm glad we haven't had this moment.
But if The Rock turned up last night, that would have been rushing it. You need the whole implosion, and you need that to build, and you need them to start the bickering, and then you go, right, where's this going to happen? And then someone like The Rock comes out to sort it out, basically.
This is like, I think, in my opinion, this is going to be like where you think you've got a really good book, and you're thinking, oh, this is going to be the final chapter before the final chapter.
The big twists.
And that is going to be the end. But it's like they've squeezed in another extra chapter that's going to be class in between that. Like, you thought it was going to be coming towards the end, and it's just not.
The implosion has happened now.
What's up, Link?
What's the book?
Dickhead. You can't read.
I don't freaking read.
But no, it is like exactly like that, isn't it? You think we've got the end of this chapter, and then we've got the final chapter, and it's like it's not. We've got one more before that.
Yes, this implosion now isn't going to come to an end until Chamber, and I think then we'll start to see a big build.
Oh no, we'll 100% have something happen on SmackDown, in my opinion, on Friday.
I think you won't see the end of this implosion between the Bloodline until Chamber.
I don't think you'll see the end of this implosion until after Mania.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be.
I think it'll continue.
I think.
I hope so.
I'm going to say it now. I think we'll finish Mania, and we'll have all of the Samoans back together by the end of Mania, and that Jay will come full circle back round again and be right behind Roman again.
I'm interested to see what happens.
No.
What's your prediction?
Roman is not walking out of Mania with anyone else. Like, Roman is done from Mania and he'll be taking time off.
But he does. But that doesn't mean the Bloodline aren't back together.
No, but he'll be taking time off. So like, it doesn't matter if they're together or not. He'll be away. So
right. But the minute
you're still going to end up.
We've talked about
those three together, though, can't you?
We've talked about them rushing. I can't see within the next month and a half, 2 months, well, next couple of months, Roman's going from this both belts, leader of that, to not being around. I think they're going to build it slowly still. I think he'll have one at least one time.
I think they've built it slowly enough for him to not be around.
But for me as well, the leader of the Bloodline can be done on a pretty much part-time basis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, the second Roman's beaten, he'll be gone. Like, he's going to take time off. Like, he's been non-stop for nearly 3 years.
But we could I don't think he'll be gone like for more than like 2 or 3 months.
Plus, I think you're going to have the Usos lose their titles first.
Yeah, I think they'll all lose their titles, to be honest, Pete. And I think, but I don't think. I'm still standing by the fact that Roman's going to have Universal come Mania, and won't have the WWE.
The Usos are losing the SmackDown titles, not this Friday, but next Friday. Like, that's almost a given at this point. And it'll probably be because they'll just won't get on. Or they'll be arguing with each other, or one of them just won't turn up to the match.
Or they're going to claim the Freebird rule, and because obviously Sami defended it, and they're going to end up with Solo and Jimmy together, and that's what loses them the title. Which then,
that's the point.
Which
Sami's
then
still a champion.
doesn't make the Usos weak. It makes Solo and Jimmy weak together. So that way that if Solo defends it instead of Jay,
it's possible, but I don't see Solo losing a match for a tag title. Like, even for a tag title, it's a lot of a match then.
Yeah, maybe. But
I can't wait for this.
Yeah,
I mean, it's possible. We might even get Jay and Sami fucking defending it, which is just mental. But
then again, But are we not going to get Sami and Kevin together?
Kevin going for the belts at some point.
At Mania, I think we will.
So would it make sense to keep it on the Usos? And the whole tournament point was just, like I said, a contractual obligation with Fox.
I mean,
it's a very high possibility.
I honestly think they're going to split the belts again, and this is just for the SmackDown belt. So I think.
So what they could they could go for the Raw titles.
They'd keep the Raw titles. Yeah. True.
I hadn't considered that, but yeah. I think they need to have the titles if we are having Sami and Kevin versus whatever variation of tag team.
If we're ever going to enforce the brand split again, going down the line, which I think will be the plan at some point, they need to split the titles.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Both brands, so I think
I
think that's the next step. I'll be honest. What was that? Sorry, Pete.
I just can't wait for where this is going because I've got no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea.
That's what I like.
And this is more to the point. We're kind of at the end of the podcast, so I just want to. I'm going to ask one question because I don't know where they're going to go with the Bloodline. The Rocket Mania, yes or no? Prediction.
Yes.
I actually think no.
I've
gone to no.
I don't know if he'll wrestle, but I think he will turn up.
Oh no, I'm saying wrestle, Pete. I'm saying wrestle. Like if he turns up on the night to then cause something, no. I'm saying Rock in a match at Mania. I don't think so now. Personally. Too late. Don't get me wrong. He's still the Rock, and he can still turn up on the SmackDown of Mania weekend.
He could turn up on the night and still have a match. Yeah. Like,
I think if that happens,
but they'll have to book. The only thing is, like, the only reason they would do it maybe on the SmackDown before is because they'll want people to buy the network.
Okay, so hear me out.
To get the match.
Hear me out.
Or Peacock, or whatever it is.
The Rock at Mania.
Yep.
Is almost a guarantee.
Yep.
Because The Rock will be going into the Hall of Fame this year.
Yeah, he will be.
Yes,
there.
We'll have.
It's in LA. It makes no sense to not put The Rock into the Hall of Fame this year. So I don't know if he'll be in a match, but he'll definitely be involved in a match.
Yeah,
and
he will be there.
We may even just get another tease for Roman versus Rock because we know it's coming at some point. And it may even be a case of it doesn't happen until SummerSlam. But it's still got to happen. Like, it needs to happen. People need that match at this point.
Which I'd be happy with SummerSlam, because if we then have Rock then wins the Universal, we've still then got... And then we end up with him dropping one of the titles. We then still get Roman getting to 1,000 days. We still get the Bloodline staying on for a little bit longer till SummerSlam. And
I want to see
that's going to happen. But...
I want to see Rock winning that Money in the Bank.
Yeah, of course you do. You would do it.
No, I tell you what is an option. Because it's happened in the past. It's a long time ago since it last happened. And in fact, I think it was with The Rock the last time it happened. The match was made a year in advance.
I was about to say, I don't think there's enough time now. Well, no, I think there is, but I think WWE will want to capitalise on a bigger build-up than 60-odd days, 70-odd days.
No, but you've missed. I'm saying rather than SummerSlam, it could go for Mania next year.
I think it will.
I got it.
Yeah,
Where is Mania next year?
No idea.
Wrestle, because obviously it's in his hometown this year.
It's 40 as well, isn't it, next year? WrestleMania 40.
I think they will want the little smaller segments, the video packages, the build up to it.
Lincoln,
a long build up.
Oh, Philly,
Philadelphia.
Yeah,
okay.
Philly and
finally.
Quite glad I'm not in a rush to go to that one.
But yeah, that's the. I think we've reached the end of this podcast, and as my daughter is screaming for me to go and play with her, I think
we have reached the end, and we've not even touched on the half of what we needed to touch on. To be honest, we've
so much.
So much.
It's been 2.5 months. Like, of course, there's a lot that we've not touched on.
I want to say to the lads, this is the start of the return of the wrestling content. I would like us to do 5 questions go coming back. Because that was quite fun. I quite enjoyed doing.
We don't have 5 questions. That's the problem.
Yeah.
We don't have 5 questions. So if you've got this far in the podcast, it's a 50 odd minute podcast. If you've got this far in the podcast, please leave your questions in the comments below, or come and say them on the Discord.
I tell you what. While you're down in the comments below, for a start, hit that like button.
It's not what the like button is.
And also, just tell us what your highlight was for the Rumble. There's a lot at the Rumble. I'm very curious to see what people enjoyed that aren't as Dan said before. We're inside kind of our own little bubble with wrestling. And I do enjoy reading what other people think outside of it. Try and keep it positive though. I don't need the negative stuff.
We don't need it, or if it is, just if it can be negative, just make it sort of constructive rather than say this is shit, but say this is shit, and this is what I do with it, and give us sort of your hot take on it. And actually, we might even do some sort of reaction to them if there's enough of them. Also, we are currently 94 followers away from.
Is it gone up again?
It's gone up again. We're 94 followers away from hitting 10k on TikTok. So if you want to be part of that 94 and you've listened to this podcast, go and make yourself 90 odd accounts and just follow us on TikTok. I don't know. Or just tell your mum about us. Tell your mum about us. Link will have her number. And
why not?
Yeah. Please leave a like, share, subscribe, and we will catch you in the next one, whenever that is. Yeah.
See ya.
I stole Pete's shit. Sorry, Pete.
Yeah, sorry.
Supposed to be silence.
See ya.
Peace.